Hello and welcome to another GCSE revision video, and in this video this is a second supplementary video on the cosine rule, where we're going to be looking at the practical implementation of the cosine rule. Okay, in this example we're given 3 sides and no angles. Again, this is the kind of triangle that we would want to use the cosine rule for. So first of all, let's go ahead and label this triangle. We can label the vertices any way we like. Let's say A, B, C. This is purely arbitrary, it doesn't matter. But once we've got the angles labelled, the lengths should have the same letter as the angle, but the length opposite. So in this case, this will be length B, so this will be length A, and this will be length C. And we remind ourselves that the cosine rule says that A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos A. Okay, now this time we're looking for the angle, so what we can do is try and get cos A on its own. So one way we can do that is to take the B squared and the C squared over the equals, so we're effectively subtracting B squared and C squared. So this is A squared minus B squared minus C squared is equal to negative 2BC cos A. Okay, so now to get the cos A on its own, we just divide everything by 2BC. So if I divide this side by negative 2BC rather, by negative 2BC, because this is negative 2BC, and then if I divide this by negative 2BC, then these cancel, and we're just left with cos A. Okay, so now if I multiply top and bottom by -1, I can just make this get rid of that negative on the bottom. So I'm going to times the numerator by -1, and I'm going to times the denominator by -1. So this A squared becomes negative A squared. Then minus B squared becomes positive B squared. And the negative C squared becomes positive C squared. And then the negative 2BC just becomes positive 2BC. And I can rearrange this a little bit on the numerator. I can take that negative A squared over so that it just looks a little bit neater. Actually, let's just say that that's equal to cos A. So if I rearrange the top terms, so I've got B squared plus C squared minus A squared over 2BC, then that's equal to cos A. And now all that remains is to plug our numbers in. So B squared, well, we know B is equal to 9, so this is 9 squared plus C squared is 12 squared minus A squared, which is 8 squared, all over 2 times 9 times 12, and that's equal to the cosine of A. And now it's calculator time. Okay, so I've got my calculator, So the first thing to do is to check that it's on degrees, which it is. So let's type this in. This is 9 squared plus 12 squared minus 8 squared is equal to 161, and then divided by, and then I'm going to need to open brackets, 2 times 9 times 12, close brackets, which is 216, and that comes to 0.745337 whatever. So now all I need to do is get the inverse cosine, or the arc cosine, and that's 41.8 degrees. So angle A is equal to 41.8 degrees. So this is 41.8 degrees. And it's the same principle to get angle B or angle C, whichever one we choose to get. Let's go for angle B. So we know from the cosine rule that B squared is equal to A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cos B. Okay, so rearranging that, we got B squared. I'm not going to go through all that length because I'm hoping we can do this a little bit quicker this time. B squared minus A squared minus C squared over minus 2AC is equal to cos B. And this time I'm going to multiply top and bottom by -1 and rearrange at the same time. So I've got A squared plus C squared minus B squared over 2AC is equal to cos B. And again, it's calculator time. Actually, before I do calculator time, let's actually plug in the numbers. So this is 8 squared plus 12 squared minus 9 squared over 2 times 8 times 12. It's just better to write down the numbers before we shove them in the calculator. It makes it less likely that we forget what we're doing. Okay, so I have my calculator, so let's plug in these numbers. So this is 8 squared. Oh, I need to check I'm on degrees, and I'm on degrees. So that's 8 squared plus 12 squared minus 9 squared, and then divide by, open brackets, 2 times 8 times 12, and that's equal to 0.614 whatever, and then take the inverse cosine, and that's 48.6 degrees. So B is equal to 48.6 degrees. I'll just write that one in. We could do the same thing to get angle C, but there's no point. We can just use the angle sum. Everything has to add up to 180 degrees. So angle C is equal to 180 degrees. Actually, I'll put C equals 180 degrees minus 48.6 degrees. that should be degrees. Minus 41.8 degrees. And we just use our calculator. Okay, so we've got our calculators, so we just shove the numbers in. So that's 180 minus 48.6 minus 41.8, and that's equal to 89.6 degrees. And that's our triangle solved. Okay, I hope you found that useful. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And if you're taking your exams this year, I'd like to wish you all the best with your revision and all the best with your exams. And I look forward to seeing you in another video.